In today's take, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, and I want to talk about the toughness of their schedule that's coming up for them going forward. Now, before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell, just so you get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this. So, the next 5 games for the Clippers, I would say is not the most toughest part of their schedule, but it is a tough schedule because when you think about it, the next 5 games that they have a game against Detroit, then they have a game against the Warriors, then they have a game against the Pelicans, once again, a team that they lost to less than a week ago, which was an embarrassing loss. So they're going to have to try to make up, for that loss there. And then they have the Kings, which that's definitely going to be a tough one right there. The Kings are definitely a tough young team, and De'Aaron Fox is only getting better along with Buddy Hield. And then they have the Lakers, on December 3rd, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people mark that on their calendar as a game that they want to, see, and a game that they actually want to look as a marquee game, a marquee matchup, when it happens. So that's definitely going to be one of those games that, the Clippers are definitely going to get up for, so the Lakers, and, that's definitely one of those that we want to see. But those next 5 games are really critical to the Clippers' success because you're playing 2 teams under 500 or 500 basketball within the Pistons and the Pelicans, which you should beat both of those teams. Those teams should be a warm up, and then you get to play the Warriors once again. Now, of course, that's going to be a tough matchup. The Warriors' ball movement is just unreal. They play so in control and concise, and Stephen Curry is really having one of the greatest seasons, if not the best season he's ever had in his career so far. And Poole and, Damian Lee and those guys and, Draymond Green, they really holding it down a lot, until Klay Thompson comes back. And when Klay Thompson comes back, really, honestly, you're adding another great player to what they already have in the Warriors, which is going to make them even tougher. But the Clippers are going to have to face them, and that's going to be a true test right there to see how good the Clippers can either be resilient in that game, come back and win, or find themselves, in a game where they can go out there and dominate against a good team and, really put the league on notice. So, that's going to be a big game for them there. But, when you look at the next 5 games, it's very tricky because the Clippers can really actually go 2-3 or 1-4 in this stretch. It's very possible because we saw them lose to a team like the Pelicans less than a week ago. It's possible they could lose to them again. It's very possible. Not saying that it's likely. I think the Clippers are going to go out there and stomp them down and put them away and put the nail in the coffin the way they should have did the first time. But at the same time, it's definitely possible because this team is going to come in there with confidence, and they're coming off the high of that's one of our 3 wins this season was against the Los Angeles Clippers. So, a lot of times when you watch the Clippers, what hurts them the most in a lot of these big games is, they play a lot of one-on-one basketball, isolation basketball, and that doesn't win championships. That only gets up stat lines, and that's not going to, win championships, and that's not the Clippers' ultimate goal. So, they're going to have to find a way to be more effective and get more ball movement and be more efficient with their shooting against any team they play, because losing to a team like the Pelicans should give you a sign. It should tell you something. There's something that we're not doing right as a team. There's something that we're not doing right as a collective unit that is helping us win. There's something that we're not doing right that's not helping us get, over the hump in situations where we're supposed to, because there again, that's a team they're supposed to beat, and that's a team they're supposed to beat every time they play them. Not 1-1 tied if they play 2 times in a season. No, you should beat them both times because they don't have Zion Williamson, and I'm not even sure they had Brandon Ingram that game. And if they did, he was coming off of some minor little injury I think he had, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is, you got to find yourself beating the teams you're supposed to beat, and it gives you confidence enough to go out there and beat the teams that a lot of people think you're not supposed to beat, like the Warriors and maybe the Lakers or whoever else they might play, going forward after the 5 games, because it's only going to get tougher. I think they got the Suns coming up after that, after the Lakers somewhere in there. So, it's definitely going to be a tough stretch for the Clippers, but they're going to have to show that resiliency that they always do, and they're going to have to understand that every game is crucial and every possession possession is crucial. And if you can find your way beating some of these good teams, it's only going to build your chemistry and your confidence up to beat these teams when you see them in the playoffs. And of course, your confidence is even higher when Kawhi Leonard comes back. So that's definitely going to bode well for the Clippers if they can find their way out of some of these games and find a way to get a victory and be the last team standing after both teams collide. That's definitely going to be, something that the Clippers should push for. But the only way they're going to be able to push for that is to be more efficient and be more assertive on both ends of the floor. On defense, sometimes they have to be aggressive. Go after the steal. Don't try to sit there and wait for a play to go wrong. You could be a little aggressive. Just try not to get yourself in foul trouble and get too many team fouls where you're putting them in the bonus on the line for the rest of the quarter. But you also want to send a message to the other team that you're willing to get down and get dirty to get what you want, which is the victory. And the other team has to respect that. And that's the way the Clippers going to have to go into these games, playing better competition, even playing lower competition, because the Clippers have had some duds so far this season against teams that they should have beaten. And I know the Clippers record is 10-8, but it can be a lot better than that. Honestly, their record could be, 12-6 or, 13-5. Their record could be something like that, but of course, you could say that, but it hasn't happened and it didn't. So that's neither here nor there. But I mean, the Clippers want to improve as they go during the season. So this stretch of games that they have coming up, they need to make a statement and they need to make it loud, and they need to definitely put the league on notice that they're definitely a good team, and they'll be even a greater team when Kawhi comes back, and they're definitely a contender. And that's the notion that they want to have and the notion that they want to put out as a team when they go against this competition coming up in the next few days through next week and the week after. So we're going to see what the Clippers are made of. I definitely think they can, do some good things. We're going to have to see how it pans out, and we're going to see if their resiliency can actually be the determining factor when they play good teams as well as bad teams going forward. Now, I do want to say this. When I see the Clippers play certain teams, I just don't expect anything. I expect the unexpected when I see the Clippers. Like I talked about with the Pelicans, to me, they should be the team like that every time. But, things happen. It's a long season, so I don't want to seem like I'm knocking on them too much. But I just want to say that I feel like they're going to have to carry the same energy into every game. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. I hate the fact that they play down to their competition sometimes, because that messes them up mentally when they go play better competition, and they kind of like take things for granted. And I feel like that's something that's going to hurt the Clippers. And sometimes I feel like their resiliency can't override that, but it has so far. So, no harm, no foul there, but we're going to have to see more from them, and they're going to have to be more consistent going forward just to beat the good teams or be mentioned in the same conversation as the good teams. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And hey, Khaliis out.